Let's discuss evidence-based foods that can improve your frontal lobe functioning, focus, and memory. We have vast amount of high-quality research which shows that to a degree, you can eat your way to a better brain and improved mental performance. First is fatty fish, especially salmon. You may have heard that approximately 60% of the brain's dry weight is fat. Therefore, consuming healthy fats is essential for maintaining cognitive function. These fats include phospholipids, cholesterol, and essential fatty acids, especially omega-3 fatty acids, particularly DHA. Your frontal lobe, which is responsible for executive functioning and productivity, is especially rich in DHA. A randomized controlled trial found that children who took between 400 and 1200 milligrams of DHA for 8 weeks had increased activity in their dorsolateral prefrontal cortex during a sustained attention task. This area, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, is known to inhibit distracting thoughts and unwanted behaviors. And one of the ways it does this is by facilitating dopamine signaling in the striatum, which regulates goal-directed behaviors. In another study, omega-3 supplementation improved spatial object memory in adults, which would in everyday life, for example, improve remembering where you left your phone or keys or that important document. So what about the dose? The data suggests that 50 grams of salmon per day, roughly the size of a deck card, leads to the most significant risk reduction in memory decline and depression. But since fish can also contain mercury and heavy metals, a high-quality lab-tested fish oil supplement is a good alternative. 50 grams of salmon equals about 1 gram of total omega-3s. Next, I want to talk about another powerful brain superfood, which is cacao. A common misconception is that chocolate is for chocolate cravings or sweet tooth, but the reality is that high-quality dark cacao contains some of the most potent cognitive-enhancing polyphenols known to science. At least 9 peer-reviewed studies confirm that cacao polyphenols boosts executive functioning and working memory, which governs problem-solving, focus, and cognitive flexibility. Let's unpack that a bit. Cacao contains, for example, these 3 substances. Number 1, beta-phenylethylamine, a neuromodulator that enhances alertness and motivation by influencing the dopaminergic pathways. Number 2, anandamide, known as the bliss molecule that interacts with the endocannabinoid system, enhancing calm focus and stress resilience. And number 3, theobromine, a stimulant similar to caffeine but with a slightly smoother effect, providing mental energy without the jitters. So the data suggests that cacao seems to especially improve performance in tasks of attention and cognitive flexibility and boost blood flow to key brain cognitive areas. These benefits seem to manifest after regular consumption of cacao for some weeks or months rather than immediately. However, if you wanted to boost your cognition immediately with cacao, the most powerful combination seems to be mixing 500 milligrams of cacao polyphenols with some caffeine, which leads to better cognitive performance than using cacao alone or using caffeine alone. 500 milligrams of cacao polyphenols equals roughly about 20 to 30 grams of high-quality dark chocolate. The protocol I personally use is 1 tablespoon of high polyphenol raw cacao powder mixed with some liquid, usually a plant milk, 200 milligrams of magnesium L-Threonate to further enhance neuroplasticity and cognitive benefits, and half teaspoon of lion's mane powder. If I drink this during the day, I'll add a shot of caffeine, which gives me a few good hours of smooth, unstressed, sharp focus. Next food, blueberries. For centuries, Native Americans have used blueberries for medicinal purposes, and what we now know and understand is that blueberries contain a powerful blend of bioactive compounds like Antocyanins, which accumulate to the brain's memory-related areas such as the hippocampus. A brain imaging study showed that daily consumption of blueberry concentrate for 3 months increased working memory performance and boosted brain flow to prefrontal cortex, thalamus, and cingulate cortex, which are key areas for higher-order cognition. Even more convincingly, a systematic review links blueberry consumption to better short and long-term memory, as well as spatial memory, which is handy when navigating in different environments. So how do you actually leverage this in your own life? It's pretty easy to get the effective dose, just 100 grams or around 1 cup of blueberries contains 400 milligrams of anthocyanins. If you want to make it even easier, the best approach is to take 1 tablespoon of freeze-dried blueberry powder. I use this myself, and I like to sometimes blend it to my cacao drink, which enhances the flavor. Let's move on to the next one. If I had to choose just one power food for the brain, eggs would be near or at the top of the list. One of the most crucial nutrients in eggs is choline. Choline is an acetylcholine precursor. Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter that's responsible for learning, motor functions, and nervous system balance. What's really fascinating about choline is its impact on processing speed. This is because choline is needed to build myelin, also known as white matter. But what's white matter? It's a fatty layer insulating and nourishing brain cells. The thickness and integrity of this myelin determine basically how fast a thought can travel. In conditions like MS, this myelin sheet atrophies or gets destroyed, which usually slows down the processing speed. Long-term studies show that consuming just 400 milligrams or more choline per day is linked to better performance in memory and verbal fluency tests. And I want to put the choline numbers into perspective. So 1 egg contains around 150 milligrams of choline, which is about 1/3 of the daily choline needs. So I want to quickly summarize this. So we discussed about salmon, cacao and cocoa polyphenols, blueberries, and eggs, and the important nutrients in them to support brain functioning and cognition. I hope it helped. If you're interested in evidence-based daily strategies to boost well-being and health, check out my other videos too, and subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next video.